Hi, this is Terry with Terry Talks. I would like to introduce to you Connor Evans with DBSync. Connor, introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about DBSync.
Hey, Terry, thanks for having me on and glad to be here. As mentioned, I'm Connor, VP of Growth with DBSync. I've been with DBSync now for about a decade. Originally came on board to oversee our Microsoft Dynamics channel, line of business, and partner relationships. And DBSync is a really incredible tool that sits in the middle of all of the different applications, databases, tools that folks are using on a day-to-day basis, whether those are on-premise or cloud-hosted apps, and really allows for seamless data communication between all of these disparate data silos to create that 360 unified view of the customer throughout their entire journey within a business process.
Now that's incredible. Now, could you begin sharing what led DBSync to develop these connections?
Yeah, definitely. From inception, we were tasked with connecting these systems for customers, and we realized that we were a services org at first under the parent company of Onkia. This request was a repeatable one and something that kept coming up. And we realized there weren't a lot of great tools for facilitating, for example, the order to cash process. So CRM and ERP integration. And what we wanted to do is really focus on making that as easy and seamless as possible. So we began by integrating things like Dynamics CRM and QuickBooks, or Salesforce and Great Plains, or Navision, which eventually became Business Central, and making these processes as seamless as they could be for partners to deliver them quickly and still have room for that services revenue. And that was
Right.
really, yeah, that was really the crux of how we began.
So what partner or client need were you aiming to address at that time? Obviously, there was a need there, but then you saw maybe partner activity or more end client activity.
So both.
Okay.
From the client perspective, there's always this need of connecting their data no matter what systems they're using. A lot of these clients come to us and they go, we've been using Dynamics for N number of years, and we've been using this different accounting system, whether it's a NetSuite or an Intact or even Business Central. We still integrate a lot of Dynamics in BC, but they're going, one team on the sales side is entering all of their information over here, and then the accounting team is entering all of their information over here. So there's the obvious duplication of effort that's happening. There's the mistakes that are happening when different humans are involved entering the same information. And there's the reconciliation between both of those that comes up all the
Okay.
time. Yeah. So
So
yep.
go ahead.
I was going to say from the client perspective, it's how do I connect everything? And from the partner perspective, a lot of them have traditionally relied on things like API integration
Uh-huh.
or building things on Power Automate.
Okay.
And for us, it was how do we take these repeatable use cases that we see, like order to cash or procure to pay, and make them incredibly easy for partners to deliver, remove the complexity, and give them a platform that maintains those APIs as these systems evolve and change.
Wow, that is amazing. So talk to me a little bit about this total connector versus replicator. And what does that mean? From a partner's perspective, connectors, we understand a little bit, but replicators is another area. So can you elaborate a little bit on connector versus replicator?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Now, we have two different kind of spaces we operate in. One being more the traditional iPaaS ETL, and we call that part of the platform cloud workflow. And really think of it as the like transactional integration layer. It keeps things like customers, invoices, items, AR balances flowing between CRM and accounting or any kind of myriad of applications you might be using. So
Okay.
basically, keeping those like day-to-day bidirectional integration points between apps synced up. Now, on the replication side, it plays more of a different role. Think replicating the underlying data in Business Central or Dynamics 365 into a data warehouse, a data lake, an on-premise SQL database, a cloud-hosted database. And a lot of the times we're doing that so that folks can run Power BI on top of a database, build out necessary dashboards, feed data warehouses, or roll up data across multiple business units.
So what I'm understanding with the connectors is more for transactional. And then for a replicator, it's more for analytics, backup, large scale enterprise integrations, supporting
Yeah.
data lakes and
Yeah.
performance workflows. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. That is really interesting news. I like that part of it. And I think that partners are just not quite aware of what all your capabilities are. So let's talk a little bit about hands-on implementation. Partners are always worried about mapping complexity, right? And the ongoing changes. So how does DBSync make implementation and maintenance accessible?
Yeah, so a number of ways. From a philosophical standpoint, we're believing that the best integrations are the ones that you don't notice. Now, what goes into making that happen? We've invested heavily in these pre-built templates. So any of these use cases that are coming up more than once, they're getting built into our platform so that anyone can leverage them to get up and running very quickly with an integration. And it still leaves room for any of the customization because time to time, you're going to have customers that have specific fields that may only apply to their business that need to get mapped, or different objects you might have built out, entities, that sort of thing. Uh,
Right.
yeah. And then the other part of that is our platform's ranked number one in the world for ease of use. So if you look us up on G2 and you pull up the list of iPaaS solutions by ease of use, you'll see us right at the top. And we've made it a focal point to really deliver a platform that even business users can use out of the box. I've built
Okay.
integration templates myself, and I am a non-technical user. It's that simple.
That's awesome. I like that simplicity and it's so scalable. So positioning DBSync, for partners working with smaller, nimble customers, how does your solution compare to more heavyweight middleware or multi-step integration?
Yeah, so I'd say the easy use I have to go back to. There's a number of key differentiators I like to always go through with folks. And again, if you look us out up on any of the whether third party sites or any of the ecosystem specific marketplace, you're going to notice people talking about the ease of use, flexibility, interface, but also really highlighting our customer support, our technical support, our responsiveness. So we're the type of organization where you can pick up the phone, you can get a hold of me or anyone on my team. You can get a hold of us through our ticketing portal, through emails, through our forums. We're big on the communication part, the responsive part. And I think that's pretty unique in this kind of an ecosystem.
You're very partner centric. I like that. And
Yeah.
really, one question I have is as you have a lot of direct clients asking you, and you're actually building rapport with your partners because you're actually taking those inbound direct leads and bringing them back to the partners. Do I understand that correctly?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So our goal and focus as an organization is to become as good as possible on the product side. We are not a services org. We don't aspire to be a big services org. We want to make sure we enable and empower partners to take our platform and utilize it for their service delivery. We don't
Right.
want to be just having endless services. It's not our goal and it's not the objective of what the platform is supposed to be.
How do you see the product evolving? When I talk to I've talked to your CEO as well, Rajiv. He is just, there's so much product involvement, and I know that you guys have some roadmaps. So where will you go next in the dynamics community space?
Yeah. So one of the interesting things that we've put on the roadmap, actually coming out of conversations with yourself and with Peter, we've talked about adding in productivity suite tools as well. And what I get really excited about is thinking not only what can we do with just those connectivities, but then adding AI into the picture too.
Like it.
So
Like
really,
it.
yeah, to me, the most exciting part about this type of integration that we're doing is have data ready in whatever system that you are connecting AI off to. And it really opens the world up in terms of what types of leaps you're able to make on a productivity standpoint.
Wow. So I had a scenario, a case that came out that wasn't too long ago. They had been on QuickBooks for, I would say, a good 15 to 18 years. Then they bought into NetSuite, and now they're looking at going into Business Central. But what they're worried about, and this is the scenario that the case has come up about. So they want to take all that history from QuickBooks, the new history from NetSuite, and bring that all into Business Central. How does that really help a Microsoft partner today if they had such a scenario?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things we do see a lot time to time is partners needing help with these migrations. They can be cumbersome. There's a lot of movement involved, and there's a number of ways we tackle it. So we do have templates for migrating, for example, QuickBooks Online or desktop to Business Central. And we also have templates for, say, offloading data within any accounting system into intermediary databases as well. So let's say you need to do some cleanup. You need to basically make sure the data is cleansed properly before you throw it into your new accounting system. We can make that process incredibly simple and then ultimately build the pipeline into the new accounting system. Yeah, a lot of partners leverage the platform for these data migration scenarios.
That's awesome. So, in closing, and I appreciate you, if a partner is watching right now and wondering if DBSync makes sense for the next deployment, what would you tell them? Is your partner advice?
Yeah, so my advice would be to reach out and have a conversation. I'm available. My calendar is publicly posted on the website, mydbsync.com. And if there's any question you have about a given scenario, I love hopping on the phone with partners and talking through it, letting them know what we've seen in the past, how other people solve it, what the best practices are. So we're more than happy to have a conversation, get involved, and we're actively growing both our referral and reseller partner network. So if you're interested in learning more about that, we've got a terrific program with great margins, and I'd love to have you onboarded.
Absolutely. I love that. Connor, I so look forward. We have something that's coming up real soon together. I have a couple other ISVs, of course, I'll be presenting, but we're on our way to Orlando. And so we have, I don't know how many days. I think we're down to 47 days until Community Summit. So tell everybody where you're going to be at and what location you're at Community Summit in Orlando.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We are going to be a sponsor at Community Summit in Orlando. We're really excited about that. When you walk into the hall and you make your first left, we are literally right there. So in that immediate hallway, when you walk in, we're there. I believe it's booth number 807. So please come by, say hi. I'll be shooting out messages on the app once that gets up and running to go ahead and just let you know where we're at. And I'd love to talk to any of you that have questions about data integration, data replication, or how we could work together.
Awesome. I so look forward to seeing you in Orlando. And hey, everybody, listen, partners, it's time to really sync up with Connor. So give me an opportunity. And Connor and I are here to answer anything and everything about DBSync. Thank you, Connor. And I appreciate you. You have a great, successful rest of your day.
Thanks so much for having me, Terry. Much appreciated.